Your first match. How you doing, man?
Angel Reese once again found herself in the spotlight, but this time, her flex completely backfired. Let's be real, her embarrassing slip-ups only proved what everyone already knew. She's no Caitlin Clark. Reese just showed in the most humiliating way possible why she'll never reach Clark's level. While Caitlin Clark keeps shattering records and carrying her team to success, Reese can't even stay on the court without stirring up drama. If you agree that Reese's desperate attempts to stay relevant always backfire, drop "grow up, you baby giraffe" in the comments. And did you catch Terrence Crawford's look when Reese walked into his locker room? That moment turned out to be the hidden storyline behind his victory. After her WNBA suspension, Reese was clearly scrambling for attention, so she turned up at the biggest boxing event of the year, Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. But before the fight, she unexpectedly showed up in Crawford's locker room, where he briefly glanced at her chest. People started joking that Canelo had sent Reese on purpose to mess with Crawford's confidence and throw him off his game. In fact, some even compared it to the old African tradition where athletes are forbidden from interacting with women before competition, but instead of being distracted, Crawford refocused instantly. That split-second moment only fueled his determination, and he went on to dominate Canelo in the ring. The contrast is impossible to ignore. One athlete is lifting women's basketball to new heights. The other is dragging it down as its biggest liability.
They ignored the fact that you got chartered flights because of this girl. They ignored the fact that ratings were going through the roof because of this girl. Instead, they resented it because they said, yo, we were doing stuff long before Caitlin Clark got here.
Listen to this madness. While Caitlin Clark was sidelined recovering from an actual injury, what was Angel Reese up to? Stirring up fake injury drama and flooding Instagram with thirst traps like she's auditioning for reality TV instead of focusing on professional basketball. But here's where it gets downright pathetic. The moment the WNBA's Golden Star was out, Reese pounced. She treated it like her big break. Finally, her chance to grab the spotlight she's been chasing all season.
Without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA has no audience, or very, very little audience. They should have done a better job of enforcing hard fouls and deterring.
Could you please share what Reese accomplished with this opportunity? Did she elevate her game? Did she prove she deserves respect through performance on the court? Absolutely not. Instead, she turned herself into a walking meme. And that's when Stephen A. Smith finally had enough.
My point is, grow up.
Just when it seemed like the WNBA was finally ready to ride Caitlin Clark's rocket ship straight into sports relevance and serious money, they managed to stumble over their own shoelaces. And ESPN's king of keeping it real wasn't about to let it slide. Stephen A. Smith didn't just notice Angel Reese's circus act, he went nuclear. While other sports personalities danced around hurt feelings and political correctness, Stephen A. came out swinging like Mike Tyson in his prime. You want to talk about brand building, he thundered. Caitlin Clark built her brand by being elite. Angel Reese is trying to build hers by being extra. He laid out the receipts like a prosecutor tearing apart a lying witness. Clark, he said, transformed an entire sport through sheer basketball brilliance. Then he turned to Reese's antics and essentially declared, "This ain't it, Chief." And Stephen A. wasn't done. He came with hard numbers. Caitlin Clark's games this season averaged 1.178 million viewers. Games without her? Just 394,000. That's not a dip. It's a nosedive so steep it makes the Grand Canyon look like a pothole. The contrast couldn't be clearer. While Clark's dominance is rewriting the future of the WNBA, what's Reese adding to the conversation? Instagram drama and conveniently timed injuries that always seem to flare up whenever she needs headlines. Stephen A. saw right through it. You can't fake greatness, and you sure can't manufacture star power with social media stunts.
This attention that was earned before she ever came along. The resentment is understandable, but it's not about Caitlin Clark, it's about what she represents. My point is, grow up.
Bottom line, the WNBA had its golden goose in Caitlin Clark. The numbers prove it. The Indiana Fever averaged 17,035 fans at home with Clark, a staggering 319% increase from last season. That's not growth. That's a revolution. And Angel Reese's impact on attendance? Let's just say nobody's moving games to bigger arenas when she's on the court. With Clark, teams were upgrading to larger venues just to meet demand. Ticket sales soared. Ratings followed. That's the kind of pull only a generational star can bring. And here's what really had Stephen A. Smith seeing red. And honestly, who can blame him? This was supposed to be Reese's moment to silence the critics. With Clark sidelined, she had the perfect opportunity to show that the WNBA had more than one player capable of carrying the league. Instead, she proved the exact opposite. While Caitlin Clark has built her following with logo threes, clutch moments, and game-changing performances, Angel Reese is out here acting like a wannabe influencer who occasionally plays basketball. Stephen A. called it what it is. You're looking at someone who doesn't understand the difference between being famous and being great. Fame fades. Controversy gets old. But greatness? That's forever. Clark isn't just famous, she's transformational. She's appointment television, the reason families plan their weekends around basketball. Angel Reese. She's just loud. Without Clark, the Fever looks like every other team clawing for relevance in a league that cannot afford irrelevance. And Stephen A. made it crystal clear. The WNBA had lightning in a bottle with Caitlin Clark. The job was simple: ride the wave and build on her momentum. Instead, we've seen jealousy, resentment, and attention-seeking stunts that embarrass the league. AS Stephen A. thundered from his ESPN platform. This isn't how you build success. This is how you waste a once-in-a-generation opportunity.
She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being fourth in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done.
And he's absolutely right. While Caitlin Clark was delivering chartered flights, record ratings, and mainstream attention to women's basketball, too many players were busy complaining about sharing the spotlight. Then, when Clark went down, instead of stepping up to keep that momentum alive, Angel Reese started manufacturing drama, like she's auditioning for reality TV. It's not just disappointing, it's professionally embarrassing. Stephen A. Smith delivered the final blow that nobody wanted to hear, but everybody needed to accept. You cannot fake what Caitlin Clark brings to this league. Watching Reese try is like watching someone attempt brain surgery with a crayon. That's not just a criticism. It's the death sentence for any argument that Angel Reese belongs in the same conversation as truly transformational athletes.
Know what she brings to the table. But people wanted to hate because why? You had a bunch of players in this league that watched this young white girl come along and take the league by storm, and they resented it because they saw the marketing prowess that she had.
The sting is sharper because it didn't have to end this way. If the league had simply acknowledged what was obvious from day one, that Caitlin Clark wasn't just another player, she was the player, things could have been different. The evidence is everywhere: empty seats, sinking ratings, and missed chances to build on the momentum Clark created. While Clark was turning the WNBA into must-see television, Angel Reese was turning it into a soap opera. And now that Clark is sidelined, we're seeing exactly what the league looks like without real star power. It's not pretty. Stephen A. Smith just delivered the reality check the WNBA needed. Reese can post all the provocative photos she wants, stir up as much drama as she can, or fake injuries for attention until the cows come home. But she will never be Caitlin Clark. Greatness can't be faked, manufactured, or bought through social media stunts. Clark earned her status by transforming an entire sport. Reese earned her headlines by desperately chasing attention that true stars attract naturally. The difference couldn't be clearer. And thanks to Stephen A., now everyone sees it. Because when you try to compete with greatness using gimmicks instead of game, you don't elevate yourself. You expose why you don't belong in the conversation. Reese just learned that lesson the hard way, courtesy of Stephen A.'s truth-telling. And without Clark, the magic disappears. Watching a WNBA game without her is like ordering a pizza and being handed a salad. Sure, it's technically food, but nobody's excited about it.
Caitlin Clark being out of the picture, you know what's already happened in the WNBA? Yeah, that's right. Those ticket prices went way down.
The meltdown was instant. Fans are furious. Talk shows are in a frenzy. And Stephen A. Smith? He's practically levitating with rage. He's calling out everyone, the WNBA bullies, Commissioner Kathy Engelbert, and most of all, Angel Reese. True to form, Reese is out here parading a so-called back injury like it's part of her brand strategy. So, what do you think of Stephen E.'s brutal takedown of Reese's desperate attempts to compete with Caitlin Clark's natural greatness? Are you as disgusted as we are by this pathetic display of manufactured drama? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe, because we're not done exposing the truth about who's really carrying women's basketball.